Namaste, friends. Very warm welcome to DMC Day 5. Very happy morning to everyone. It's a great privilege and honor to be here on DMC Day 5. I am your host Sudhakar Pedrareddy from New Jersey. We will continue today with our marathon meditation for 2.5 hours, and we are going to have a very special guest, Dena Merriam Madam, who has written a wonderful book, Untold Story of Sitayanam, and the Rukmini. She will join us at 7 a.m. today. I request everybody to turn on your videos, and I will request you to ask and be interactive with her. And before we get started, I would like to explain the today's program. First 1.5 hours, we'll be doing a music meditation, and then Harika will sing for next 1 hour, but we will continue to be in meditation. Hope that is clear. And before we sit for long duration of meditation, it's very important that we prepare ourselves for the meditation, like how we prepare, how we warm up for exercises. It's also important for meditation to prepare our body and mind so that we can have a very effective meditation. How do you prepare our body and how do you prepare your mind? You can prepare your body through stretches or twist and turn so that your body become active after a long sleep of night. We need to activate our physical body and nervous system so that it is ready to receive the amount of cosmic energy. So we will try to activate our body through a breathing technique and our mind through the intent, like how my next 2.5 hours should be and how my meditation should be. So if you are ready, let us get started with today's meditation. And once again, I welcome you to Day 5 of DMC Dhyan Mahala Chakram. And I will start my day with gratitude with our beloved Guruji Brahmashi Pitama Patreji and all other masters who are guiding us physically and non-physically. And I thank every one of you here to be with me in DMC Day 5. Okay, my dear friends, let us get started with the basic breathing technique to activate our body and energy system so that it is ready for next 2.5 hours for effective meditation. Please close your eyes, clasp your hands, cross your legs, sit relaxed. Bring all your attention into this present moment, into your total body. Bring your all energies and attention into the present moment. Just be aware of yourself. Relax your total body. Relax your legs. Relax your stomach. Relax your chest. Relax your hands. Relax your face by having a gentle smile. When you have a smile, naturally face relaxes. Keep your eyes gently closed. Just follow this breathing technique. Take a very deep breath. Fill up your stomach. Hold it for a second. And as you release, relax your body. When you breathe in, just become aware of all your chakras and see that your chakras are receiving energy. We will do 11 rounds of this breathing exercise and then we'll get into the meditation. Hope that's clear. And the first round, take a deep breath. Fill up your stomach. Make sure your stomach is going up. It is getting filled. And just be aware of your lower chakra. Hold it for a second. and gently release. As you release, relax your body. In the second round, take a very deep breath, aware of your lower chakra. Release gently and relax. Make sure you relax as you exhale. In the third round, keep your face relaxed. In the fourth round, take a deep breath. Take a very deep breath. Become aware of your sacral chakra. Just keep your attention below your navel. As you exhale, relax. Let us do fifth round. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, slowly relax your body and mind. The sixth round. Take a very deep breath. Become aware of your sacral chakra. Relax. Seventh round. Take a very deep breath. Aware of the sacral and solar plexus. Relax. Take a very deep breath. Aware of your heart center. Experience the love emanating from your heart center. As you exhale, spread this love around you. Take a very deep breath. Aware of your heart center and throat center. Exhale, relax. And the very last time, take a very deep breath. Become aware of your all 7 centers. As you exhale, total relax of your body and mind. Your body should be activated and nervous system should be ready and smooth. Let us release intent for our long meditation that you are going to be totally present in this moment. Just be with yourself. We are going to experience the beingness. We are human beings, but we never experienced the state of being, the state of just being a witness. We are going to experience every second. Bring your all attention into your gentle breathing. Just observe yourself as you inhale and exhale. Just be in this present moment as you observe your natural and normal breath. Make an effort to be aware of every breath. Make it effective. Release all your thoughts. Just be here. You are a total witness. We are going to transcend our body and mind and realize who we are.
Shri Parvati Parameshwaro Vande Shri Parvati Parameshwaro Vande Chidimbavlila Vigraho Mama Ishtasiddhaye Shri Parvati Parameshwaro Vande Chidbimbavlila Vigraho Mama Bhishtasithye Shri Parvati Parameshwaro Vande Vande Apadamasta Kalam Karo Apadamastakalam Karo Adimadhyanta Rahita Karo Apadamasta कालङ्कारो आदिमध्यान्त रहिताकारो सोपानमार्ग मुख्याधारो सुखप्रदो गन्धरसा धारो सोपानमार्ग मुख्याधारो सुखप्रदो गन्धरसा धारो लोपामुद्रे साचितचरणौ लोभमोहादिवा रणकरणौ लोपामुद्रे साचितचरणौ लोभमोहादिवा रणकरणौ पापः निदत्तरगोः गुहकरणौ भयहरणौ भवतरणौ पापः पुण्यददर गुरुगुहकरणौ भयहरणौ भवतरणौ श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वरो वन्दे चिद्बिम्बौ लीला विग्रहो मम भीष्टसिद्धये श्रीपार्वती जय जय देवी जय जग जननी जय जय सरस्वती जय जय देवी जय जग जननी जय जय सरस्वती माई जय जय देवी जय जग जननी जय जय सरस्वती जय जय भवानी जय शर्वाणी जय जय भवानी जय शर्वाणी जय त्रिभुवन सुखदाई जय जय भवानी जय शर्वाणी जय त्रिभुवन सुखदाई तेरा ही माया अनंत अपार तेरा ही माया अनंत अपार जाको कोई नहीं पाई जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी जय जय सरस्वती माई जय जय देवी हस्तकमलमो मीनविराजे जामे तब सुर गाई हस्त कमलमो मीनविराजे जामे सब सुर गाई दूजे हाथ विराजत पुस्तक दूजे हाथ विराजत पुस्तक वेद श्रुति ऊपर जाई तुझे हाथ विराजत पुस्तक वेद श्रुति ऊपर जाई जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी जय जय सरस्वती माई जय जय देवी तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। सुर नर चरण नमामि। तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। सुर नर चरण नमामि। पद्मनाभा प्रभु चरण सरोरुह। पद्मनाभा प्रभु चरण सरोरुह। सेवक के मन भाई। पद्मनाभा प्रभु चरण सरोरुह। सेवक के मन भाई। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय सरस्वती माये। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय सरस्वती। जय जय सरस्वती। जय जय सरस्वती। Hari Hari Rama Nannaramara Juraku Hari Hari Rama Nannaramara Juraku Niratamu Nina Hari Hari Rama Nannaramara Juraku Niratamu Ninama Smaranam Hare Hare Rama Naramara Jodaku Niratamu Nama Smaranaye Maranu Hari Hari Rama Dasarada Nandana Dashamukha Mardana Dasharada Nandana Dashamukha Mardana Pasupati Rojana Papavi Mochana Pashupati Rojana Papavi Mochana Hari Hari Rama Naramara Jodaku Niratamuni Nama Smaranaye Maranu Hari Hari Rama Manimaya Bhushana Manjula Bhashana Manimaya Bhushana Manjula Bhashana Rana Jaya Bhishana Raghukula Oshana Rana Jaya Bhishana Raghukula Oshana Hari Hari Rama నన్నరమర జోడకు నిరతము నీ నామ స్మరణయే మరను హరి హరి రామ పతిత పావన నామ భద్ర శైలా పతిత పావన నామ భద్ర సతతము శ్రీ రామ దాసుడ నేను సతతము శ్రీరామ దాసుడ నేను హరి హరి రామ నరమర జోడకు నిరతము నీ నామ స్మరణయే మరను హరి హరి రామ శారదా హరి నామ లోకామృతము నమకు శారదా హితవైన కౌలను సదా శారదా సౌఖ్యామృతము తమకు శారదా శారదా నీతి ఒకటి హరినామ వింతైన చాలదా తెదరకి జన్మములు తెరలు విడిపిల్లా. ఇది ఒకటి హరినా చాలదా చెదరకి జన్మములు తెరలు విడిపించా. మదినొక్కటి హరినామ మంత్రమది చాలదా. మదినొక్కటి హరినామ మంత్రమది చాలదా. వేలనరక కూపములు వెడలంచ తాళనా తాళదా హరి నామ సౌఖ్యామృతము తమకు దానదా హితవైన సౌగలను సదా రఘు వెంకటేశు కీర్తనమొక్కటి చాలదా. జగములో కల్పం వలెను కీర్తన ఒక్కటి చాలదా. Masters, slowly come back. With all gratitude to Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji and all the masters, and to the Mother Earth. Slowly, gently wiggle your toes and fingers. And when you're ready, please rub your hands, touch your eyes. Open your eyes. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Thank you for sharing your energies.
That was a great singing, Harika. Very intense energies. Thank you, everyone, for doing such a wonderful meditation. Slowly bring back all our awareness into physical body. Just relax yourself. So with further no delay, let us introduce our today's very, very special guest. I take immense joy introducing her today. She is very, very special to every one of us. She is none other than Dena Merriam madam, who has been into Kriya Yoga meditation for a very long time, and she got touch with her guru Yogananda Parahamsaji, and she has been through her all past lives and understand the karmic lives, how karmic cycles impact our life, and understanding her interaction with Mata Sita and Rukmini. And she has started a global peace initiative for women in 2002. She has worked to bring spiritual voices to address the global challenges that everyone going through now. She has spoken in many forums on the need for shift in the consciousness to address the challenges humanity is going on every aspect of life. With great joy, I would like to welcome Dena Merriam madam for our DMC program, Dhyana Mahala Chakram. It's a great honor to have you here.
Namaste. It's a great honor for me to be with you during this time of meditation. You're a very special family to me.
Thank you, madam. And I would like to play a video. One of our girl recited one of the poem from the Mahabhagavatam, which is translated by in one of the language Telugu, Potana. Can I play that video for you to introduce you and also the Krishna? Yes, great.
The next poem I'll be singing from Potana Bhagavatam describes Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is Yashoda's darling son. Taking care of all of us is his sole objective. Bhakta Potana is praying for his salvation with this poem. Sri Kaivalya Padam लोकरक्षैकारम्भकु भक्तपालनकरासंरम्भकु दानवोद्रेकस्तम्भकु केलोल विलसदृग्जालसम्भूत नानाकञ्जात भवाण्डकुम्भकु महानन्दाङ्गनाडिम्भकु
That was a small poem from Bhagavatam about Krishna. Thank you, madam. Hope you understand that. And we would like to hear from you today about the Dana Mahala Chakram, that this is mostly for women, should like enlighten and awaken themselves. We wanted to hear your brief message on that, and we'll go into interactive session with everyone. They can interact with you and ask their questions.
Well, this has been a wonderful week for me because I've been narrating the untold story of Sita for a audiobook. And I haven't read the book in a few years because I've been busy with writing other books. So I'm back in Sita Loka and feeling again very much the presence of Ram and Sita. And as I was just this week was narrating the part about the Great War and Ravana, and it was like describing our modern era, because we were talking about, she was talking about in the book, climate change, droughts, the draining of rivers, assaults on women. I mean, we could have been describing today. And as I was reciting it, I thought to myself, this is a story. This is a story that in every era we have to undergo the battling of a dharma. And then the part that I just was narrating yesterday was about how the women of Ayodhya went down to the river in the morning praying for Sita, and how that created a protective shield around her. So I came home and I thought to myself, so what's the message for us today? We see a lot of instability in the world today. I mean, instead of one Ravana, it's like we have many in different parts of the world. We have climate change. We have warnings about all kinds of climate instability. So we all need to go down to the river and chant and meditate. Now, as I'm back in the story of Sita, I've also started a new book. I've just finished a book, actually, which takes place in 12th century Tibet and then 13th century India. It covers 3 lives. So I finished that book, but I started a new book, which is a big challenge for me, and it's called Memories of a Future Life. And it projects 200 years into the future. So as we know, we are creating our future. So let's create a positive future. We all are part of creating what's going to unfold. So we most often do it passively by reacting to things that come to us, but we can do it creatively. Actually, we are creating the future. We have control over it. And so this has been a really, I have to go deep inside to be able to pull out the story. I see my own future, but to see the collective future is a bigger challenge because there's so many variables. But again, it's all of us, and it's not just the women this time. It's all of us going down to the river. And what I see happening, actually, which is why your movement is so important, is as I'm writing the story, I see that at a certain moment, there's going to be a lot of disruption over climate change. But then the meditation movement will become large enough that it can ameliorate some of the more dramatic changes that could occur, but that may not, because the meditation movement becomes large enough to have an impact, to be able to change the course of outer events. That's a possibility that awaits us. It could be 30 years, it could be 50 years. The timing is always difficult to tell. But I do believe that the influx of great masters in the last 200 years was for that very purpose, to help create a large enough meditation movement that we can quicken human evolution, because human evolution is needed in order to bring a little more wisdom to our actions. I mean, we have incredible technology that's coming very fast, but our intelligence is not developing at the speed needed to control this technology or to use it wisely. And so what's the answer to that? It's to grow the meditation movement. And that's where we are now. And there is that very real possibility that we'll be able to do that.
That's amazing. And especially being in that Sita Loka, I could understand how deep and profound it will be. I read that book and I was immersed in that love of Sita. And also when I read the Rukmini book, it is the same feeling. I was in that ball of the love for the whole period of book I was reading and after the book. And thank you for bringing those books into everybody's life and transforming millions of people.
To me, the Rukmini book is a continuation of Sita's story, because just like we continue, I mean, it's one unending journey with chapter after chapter. Each life is like a different chapter. Sita and Ram, they don't incarnate very often, except they could appear in a human body, and they do appear in human bodies at various moments, and we may not recognize them. So in the story that I'm writing about the future, again, Ram and Sita are very, very much present, not in incarnate form, but assuming bodies when need be to give a certain message to a devotee. And in this book that I've just finished, which is called To Dance with Dakinis, In Search of Self, there's a lot about Shiva in it, because it's my first encounter with Lord Shiva. And this book that I've just started, Memories of a Future Life, and this took me completely by surprise. I've come into a relationship with Ganesh, and for the first time, I've not known Ganesh until writing this book. And so it's like one by one, I'm experiencing the different devas and devis who come for different purposes and to help us at different moments in our long journey. And so we see all the different aspects of the great divine consciousness appearing in different forms, beloved forms. There's so many forms, just like we have so many forms. And in the book I've just finished, it's like, we have so many names, we have so many faces, we have so many forms. And it's beautiful to recount them all, just like we recount all the different forms of the divine. But in the end, we're without form.
Oh yeah, we are. I'm very curious to know like what is going to be like your feature, like you with Ganesh and other thing. Before that, I would like to ask a question. When I was reading the Rukmini book, especially the Satya and Usha episode, it was touched me like anything. And in Satya asked like we need to balance the love and the knowledge. Usha, you have so much love. Now you need the knowledge. Can you please elaborate that for us and how we should get the love and knowledge evolve into the next generation, like how we are going the future? How to balance both?
That's really you put your finger on the essence of the question. That has been a long search for me. In the book that I've just started, Memories of a Future Life, the subtitle is Becoming Love. Because in my long journey, it's the journey toward a higher state of love, which is a balance between the wisdom and because love is not an emotion. Very often we live at the emotional level with love, And when we think of human love, it really is an emotion, and love is, it's hard to put into words what that higher state of love is. But it's like Durga and Kali express an aspect of love. And in that love, there's a ferocity to it. And in the book that I've just finished on Tibet, there's also a lot about that ferocity, which has to transform all the negative energies, the negative emotions, which manifest externally as demonic forms, internally as anger or fear or envy or greed. And how do we transform those into beneficial emotions? There has to be a certain fierce love that is needed in order to transform those negative energies. And so that was my learning in the book I've just finished, is taking love to that level and not just seeing it as a happy feeling, but it's coming to the realization of how to maintain the balance in the universe, how to restore dharma, and it can only be restored through love. I mean, the negative energies can only be transformed through love, but there's an intensity to that love, and there's no self-interest. Perhaps that's the key, is that there's no self-interest. In human love, we have expectations. We need a certain give and take. And if our expectations are not met, we have disappointment. We have needs that have to be fulfilled. And if in a human love, if those needs are not fulfilled, then the relationship is damaged. And so how to move into a higher state where there's no expectation, there's no needing anything, there's no wanting anything, there's a pure outpouring for the benefit of the whole, a pure giving with no self-interest at all. And that takes wisdom, because you have to see yourself beyond your human personality. You have to see yourself beyond your limited life and your limited needs. You have to be established in the higher self in order to be able to manifest that quality of love. And so the subtitle of the book I finished, In Search of Self, is how to reach that state. It's that takes many lifetimes of practice, spiritual practice, to be able to establish yourself in the higher self. And we're all on that journey, but we can become aware in our lives of when we're slipping down, when we're having expectations, when we're wanting our needs met. And it's a subtle balance, because yes, we are human and we do have needs. But those of us who are on this path want to be of service, pure service to humanity. And so we want to incarnate. I mean, there comes a point when you take birth, not to fulfill your samskara, not to fulfill your karma, not by karmic need, but purely out of service, purely to help advance creation, help advance the human species. To get to that point, so we may choose to take birth, but we're choosing to take birth not for our own purposes, but for the greater good. That's the journey we're on. That's the journey we're all on. And so each life presents us with a different set of circumstances to perfect that. For others, they have needs and they want to satisfy their desires, and there's nothing, yes, you want to achieve a certain ambition, you want to have wealth, you want to have a happy family, but there comes a point when we've had all of that. We've experienced everything that human life has to offer us. We've had happy marriages, happy family, happy children, unhappy ones, and so you've had it all. So what's the next stage for us? It's to move beyond that, and to You mentioned Satya. When I first became aware of Satya, which was in 2008, actually, when I was organizing a big conference in India on the Divine Mother, and I was overwhelmed with how I was going to do this. I was still new to this work. And then I saw this being who was helping me from this other dimension. But then when I wrote my first book, I became aware of my relationship with him. He wasn't just another being coming, there was a relationship there. And then with each book, he becomes more and more of a presence. And then when I was writing the Rukmini book, I found my past with him. I found where actually, it was in When the Bright Moon Rises that I first remembered an encounter with him long ago in the Vedic age. And then when I wrote the Rukmini book, I encountered a life with him, which sort of cemented the relationship that continues to this day. And as I write about, as I continue to write, because I'm evolving like all of us, and each book is transformative for me. I'm deeply, deeply transformed by my writing. It's my sadhana right now. This is the teaching, because I received the teaching anew. You know, when I talk about those lives, I didn't understand in the way that I understand today, the teachings that were given. Now, when I write about them, they have a much deeper meaning for me. And my interest is in writing more about the celestial worlds, because we're deeply intertwined. We all have relationships with beings in those other dimensions. You know, because we incarnate at different times. Beings that are important to us may still be in those other dimensions. We narrow our consciousness when we take a human birth, so as not to confuse ourselves, and so to continue this play. You know, if an actor were to remember all the parts that he played, he wouldn't be able to do his very best in that one role. So an actor has to put aside all the other roles that he's played and just concentrate on that one role that he's performing. It's the same with us. We have to put aside everything else and concentrate on the one role we're playing, until at a certain point, we can't do that anymore. Because everything has led up to this point. Not just all our earth lives, all our experiences everywhere. And the dimension that I talk about with Satya is very real to me. I feel his presence daily. And there's a constant, because I could not do the work I do without him. He is my opening into that world. He relays to me many of the teachings that come to me. And I hope to write more about that in the future. I never know what comes next. When I finished Rukmini book, I didn't know what was coming next. And suddenly this whole series of memories come about this time in Tibet, which is very important to me, because Tibet and India, for those of you who will read the book, there's a very ancient and deep, deep link. Many of the deities are said to be emanations of our deities. And so there's a very, very deep link there. And the fact that India is home now to the Tibetans in exile has great significance as well. So there's a lot more to be said about that. But then when I finished that book, I didn't know what was coming next. I've seen my future, but I haven't seen the collective future until I started writing this. And I said to myself, you know, we are creators. We are creators. We have to go about and begin to vision what lies ahead for us, for the human community. That's our role as creators, to create it. So let's not let others create the future for us. Let's get together and create it.
Yes, we will get together and create a wonderful and joyful and a future with full of love, just flow. Thank you, ma'am, for giving so much information. And we have a lot of other participants who would like to interact with you, and they're eager to talk to you. Can you allow them to ask their own questions?
Of course.
Thank you. Hi, Devi Garu, please unmute and talk to Dena, ma'am.
Hi, Sudhakar Garu. Thank you for the opportunity. First, my namaskaras to Dena ma'am. Ma'am, it is so good to see you again in this platform. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. It's immense bliss always. I have two things, one question and one sharing for you, ma'am. So first I will share, okay, with your permission. And nowadays I'm narrating untold story of Sita to my little daughter. She's 6 years old, Nirvana. She saw you when we met and she took a photo with you. And okay, when I'm narrating, I don't know how she's understanding, how she's getting the concepts and everything, but I'm pretty well as my best I'm narrating to her. So one day, my husband got a call from his friend and they're fixing to meet somewhere and he going to go there to meet her friend. And my little one said, Dad, I want to come with you. Then he said, no, you're not coming. You're being there and I'm going. Then she asked, Janak Baba, taking Sita Mata everywhere he is going, why are you Nick not taking me while you're going out? It is like mind blowing for me how she relate things and she's asking the question from the story and it was so amazing. And one more time, and I'm narrating about Sita Mata healing the Meenakshi's wound, about childhood and everything. And she's asking, at that time, she's not yet born, but still she is knowing all those things. Oh, that was amazing. And she is sensing everything and she understanding pretty well. And then meanwhile, I show the picture of you and with all of us and when we visited. And do you want to see Meenakshi in this lifetime? Look, she is the one you met, remember? And she connected. Oh, she's the one. She's the one wrote this story. So, and she's using in my day-to-day life, she using that story and relating in many ways. And how a 6 years old girl understanding pretty well and relating to her life and she's asking millions of doubts while I'm narrating and I'm explaining everything. It's like a beautiful journey, and no matter what, without listening to the story, she is not sleeping at all, ma'am.
That's beautiful. Devi, thank you for sharing that. It's funny because the thought has occurred to me this week of turning it into a children's book, of the Sita story into a children's book. And I think that will be, I'm going to do that.
Yes, please, ma'am. And she is enjoying like anything. And my doubt, ma'am, and you collected many of your lifetimes and you saw many of your experiences and the transformation of life, right? How is your journey when you didn't start meditation as a sincere practice in your life, and how the journey evolved when you start meditation in your daily life as a sincere practice? That was my question.
So the question was, when did I start meditation?
When you start meditation, how it changes the evolution of your journey and how it...
The meditation is a science, and I consider it to be a science. And it's funny because my son is a neuroscientist. My son and his wife are neuroscientists. He was brought up with meditation, but then he sort of went off into the path of science and left it behind. And now he's sending me all kinds of podcasts and articles. And I never pushed. I mean, I used to push meditation. I have two sons. I used to push meditation. And then when they got to be adults, I said, okay, they're on their own. I did my part. Neither one of them meditate. But my oldest son, the neuroscientist, is now sending me all kinds of things about changes in the brain that occur when you meditate. This is not new to me, but I'm so happy that he's seeing it because he's in his 40s. He just now started a meditation practice. But I learned early, I started meditating when I was 20. And I knew that there were two things that were very important, that it had to become a regular practice. It couldn't be haphazard once a week, or it had to be every day. And that I had to take it very seriously. I had to really apply myself to meditation and go into periods of long meditation, not just be satisfied with the everyday quick, 1 hour or whatever, because there is a science to it. And it does, it's the science of the chakras and the prana. And it quickens your evolution, which is why I see the changes as a human community that we face, it could go one way or it could go another way. And the key to which way we go is meditation. What percent of the human species, and it might just be 1% that's needed or 0.5%. That I don't know, quickens the evolution through meditative practices. And there are many different practices. I do Kriya Yoga, which works with the chakras. It's a form of Kundalini practice it's just a very gentle magnetizing of the spine, of getting the currents into the center part of the spine to magnetize the spine, to awaken the higher chakras. And we want to bring our energy into the higher centers where we can access our true nature, so that we live in the higher self, that we can move beyond the ego consciousness of our personality. And so that is, I've sort of have mixed feelings about the secularization of the meditation movement, because to me, it's all about, worship of the divine. But I see the importance of people who don't feel that way coming into a meditation practice, because it speeds up the evolution. And that's the key for us right now for survival of the human community, of the whole earth community, because we have to change course in order for so many species to survive. Meditation is the key. The meditation and all the different practices that have been available are part of that. There's so many different, there's mantra, there's breath, there's Kundalini breath, so many different visualizations, there's so many different practices, and there's a science to it. I've just written an article called The Science of Rebirth, because there's a science to that too. I think we need to look at all of karma is a science. These are science because they're based on spiritual law. And I think that as soon as scientists realize there are laws that govern the physical world, the laws that govern the psychological world, the laws that govern the spiritual world, and they're all part of this vast science that needs to be understood in relation. They're in relationship to one another. And so when my guru came to America in 1920, his first talk was called The Science of Religion. And that influenced me greatly when I read that book. And I said, that's how we need to talk about it in this modern age. Because a lot of people don't relate to the religious structures or to the religious narrative, but they can relate to the fact that, hey, try this, it works. Just doesn't matter what you believe, it works. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you so much. And it is always a immense pleasure for me to talk with you. And I'm giving this, even though we have a lot to share with you and talk with you, I want to give this opportunity to other people who is waiting for you too. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. We need your presence more in many programs. Thank you so much.
I'm always available.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Devi, for sharing the experience. And the untold story of Sita should be a bedtime story for every kids, and it will be a great gift for all the kids. And yes, ma'am, spiritual science, it's a science, everything there is science, and that's why Guruji used to say it's a spiritual science. Everybody has to become a spiritual scientist. And thank you for reiterating that. And we'll go to the next person. Joshna Garu, you can speak.
Thank you so much, Dena ma'am. Thanks for giving this opportunity to connect with you. I first read the book Untold Story of Sita like as soon as we got it into our hands when it was released. I first read in a PDF and then I bought the book. I not only bought the book, from that time onwards, whatever it is it a baby shower, a wedding or birthday, I used to just give the book to everyone whom I knew. And, all my family read it. I read it twice, including my daughter, husband, and my elder daughter, who is not so much into books and meditation. And, and this went to all our community also. And then I was wondering, I want my parents and others to read it, but they are not comfortable with English. And thanks to Patriji, he brought the book in Telugu. And recently, when my mom came to me, she, within short, like 1 week, she read it twice. And she was so much involved. I used to work, I used to be busy at first. She used to come and say the stories, Sita did. And it was not like a point of like the story of Sita we heard when we were child, or when how they heard was so much different. And they were completely connecting with the energy, and there was not even a doubt we heard it that way, or something like that. So it came out. Yeah, thank you so much for the great work. I also read the Rukmini book, and I read almost 3/4 of the book, the lifetimes, the past lifetimes you wrote. So I came to know so much about you, about Paramhamsa Yogananda and other lifetimes. I thought I'll just show my gratitude. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll keep waiting for your future books.
Thank you, Jyotsna. To me, the most important thing is the presence that I hope the book conveys. So when reading the Sita book, how can you not feel the presence of Sita and Ram? I mean, they're living presences, and the same thing with Rukmini. It's going into that loka and feeling their presence. That's why I'm so happy to be reading the Sita book again. And everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And so I'm reading it as I'm writing into the future. And I realize that Ram and Sita are there in the future, doing just as they're doing now, giving personal direction and collective direction. And that's the important thing. I mean, we have to expand our vision beyond this physical world, beyond the material world, and see the presences that are here guiding us. And when you look at world events, it's so easy to be caught up in the emotions of one thing or another. But I've learned to step back and to say, all we can do, we do our part, and there's karma that has to unfold, but we can do our part in trying to guide that. That's, we can do that as we advance. We can have a greater influence on doing that and guiding that.
Thank you. How the books are brought out into chapters, stories, it even like influences even little children to just hold and read, and the energy which we connect is so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jyotsna, for your gratitude and reading this book. And Sheetal Power, you have a question, please, ma'am, you can ask.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here and showering your grace. It really means a lot to us because we are so deeply touched by the untold stories of Sita and Rukmini. And yes, absolutely, there is no time when masters say that, this is a perfect example that when we were reading the book, we were like, being in that time space. And thank you so much for that. And I have a question. So when you said we can speed up our evolution if we practice meditation and be in that spiritual journey, right? So during that time, is our karma get speed up too?
Yes. I mean, I'm told that the samskara that sort of lie hidden in our spiritual spine, I mean, these are seeds of past thoughts and deeds, get burned up with deep meditation. So you can, in one lifetime, it is possible, work through all of your karma, but that takes a lot of concentrated meditation. And unfortunately, we don't see the seeds that are lying there in the past, but if you live more consciously, which means paying attention to the emotions that arise, to our reactions. I mean, if we are reflective and we look at our lives, there's the meditation, and then there's the reflection of looking at your life and looking at your reactions and looking at your relationships. And when things are unfinished, when you still have things to work on, when emotions arise, when you get upset by somebody, when somebody stirs you or something, until we are unmovable, So nothing can shake us. We still have things to work out. So we have to reach that state. My guru used to say, to be unshaken amid the crash of breaking worlds, to be unshaken no matter what is coming. That is the state where we've moved beyond reaction. So action and reaction. We want to move beyond reaction. We can work through a lot of our karma in this life, but it takes effort. It's most of us live, most of the world lives sort of reactively, just sort of dealing with day-to-day issues, what comes up and you respond. We have to live more mindfully, more consciously, more with the intention of rising above the changing conditions, not responding to the changing conditions that come to us, that come to us in work, that come to us through finances. I mean, we're all faced challenges. That's what life is. And our test is how we respond to those challenges. So if we can incite, this is what the Gita is about too, being even-minded, not reacting, not being swayed, not being, if good things come to us, not going off into being overwhelmed and with that happiness, and if bad things come, not falling into depression, not being swayed by the changing currents of life, being even-minded through it all, being above the changing conditions. I'm saying this to myself because I also have to practice this, and things come to me that I get thrown off a little bit. We all have that, and we're all striving to reach that state where nothing can change us because we're steady in that unchanging self. So it's reaching, and this is a lot of my work. I see that what changes, and then I'm searching for that which is unchanging, and all these different personalities. Who am I really? What is the unchanging part of me? That was sort of the search in the book I've just finished, which is called In Search of Self. Which is the part of me that's unchanging? And you have to be stable in that in order to have risen above the changing karmic conditions. So yes, we can work through all of our karma in this life, but it takes great effort.
Wonderful, wonderful message, ma'am. Thank you so much. Being consciousness and contemplating and, being in that state, unchangeable state helps us. So thank you so much. We'll take away these lessons from you and then we'll apply in our day.
Thank you, Jill, for raising that question. That was an important one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Sheetalji. And Bhagyalakshmi, you can speak, ma'am.
Namaste, madam. Namaste, Dena Merriam. I am very grateful to you. First of all, I have to say grateful to our beloved Guru, Subhash Patriji, as he has shown so many divine souls like you. For us, he introducing us so many divine souls like you. I am very grateful to you. I want to talk with you, so I raised my hand. I don't know how to talk, and I am not a scholar, and I am not a fluent conversation. Just I want to talk with you, and I want to see you as you are a great divine soul. I am very grateful to you, madam. I read your book, madam, Sitayanam in Telugu. We are in Telugu. I read the book and I understood very well, madam, as you want to give message for us. I clearly understood, madam. I am very grateful to you, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagyalakshmi. And I want to just say that I'm also very grateful to Prakruthi for reaching out to me, because without that, I would have not have known you all. And I was on my way actually hoping this year to go, because I've had interactions with him like this over Zoom, but I was hoping this year to go sit with him physically. Now I have to continue my conversations with him in that other dimension, but that's fine too. That's also very possible. to continue our relationship with him from that celestial realm. But he's a great soul. He is a great soul. And I'm very grateful for all he has done.
Thank you, Bhaglakshmi, for sharing experience. Thank you so much, and thank you. And the next one, Swapna Garu, you can speak now.
Happy morning, Dena ma'am. Happy morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm really blessed to be here with you, to see you on the same platform. I have been waiting, and this is a lovely day. First of all, thank you for the wonderful book, Untold Story of Sita. As I read that, I got so much connected with it. Most of us used to have the question like Sita Mata is powerful Mata, and why she had to bear so much of a struggle in her life. And there was because they have other powers, they can do everything. But your book narrated each and everything like it is not how it is, and this is the reality. And the other thing is there is a feeling that if they named their kid Sita, she is also going to go into a lot of trouble, and that so there is a misunderstanding that most of them does not give the name Sita. It's not common. But when I was reading that book, my cousin sister, she was having a baby girl, and I told her because at the same time it was the time of Sri Ramanavami and all that, and I was reading the book, and I told, oh, whatever you are going to call, but I'm going to call that girl, my sweet girl, as Sitama, and I call her Sitama. And my aunt was saying why you are saying her Sita, she's going to go into the same trouble. I said no, that is not the reality. This is the reality, I told her. And whenever I see her, I really feel that Sita Mata is here, and because Sitama is everywhere, right? So in that book, how and the purpose of Sitama is so different, like what we see in the Ramayana or anywhere else. They do not show the real Sitama anywhere, but in your book, you showed her and how great she is, and how she has helped, and each and every stage of her life. It was like really marvelous, and I don't have really words to express. I got so much connected, and the Ramaya and Sitama spread everywhere. She in the end, when she want to leave the world, they go around the world, they spread their energies, and they in everywhere. So it's lovely book, and thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for giving this opportunity to share my feeling with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swapna, for sharing that. A few years ago, I was traveling, I was doing an event in Costa Rica, and a Costa Rican farmer was at the gathering where I was, and he came up to me and said that he was building a temple to Ram and Sita in Costa Rica. He was not an Indian man, he was a Costa Rican man. He had the experience of Ram and Sita. And so they're traveling around the world at that time. We're touching every place, blessing every place. Those blessings, I was thinking about this, may have yielded results thousands of years after their time, and may still not even yet manifest. Those blessings may still lie in the future, but there was a purpose to everything that they did. And one thing that I hope is conveyed in the book is that they were a unit. That everything that happened had to be done together, because they were part of one unity. And we are part of that unity too. And when we come to realize that, that's the evolution we're working toward, realizing that we are part of that unity. And so we are an extension of them. And so that's rising above what I was just talking about, incarnating just for our personal needs to fulfill our karma, incarnating because we are part of them to help fulfill their work, which is the evolution of creation, the evolution of manifest world into a higher consciousness.
Thank you, Swapna, for sharing experience and ask question. And that's pretty amazing. A Costa Rican man building a temple for Rama and Sita. That's great, madam. Thanks for sharing that. And Karuna, you can speak, ma'am.
Wonderful. Good morning, madam. It's a blessing to interact with you. I feel like I am actually visiting Sita Mata now in your form today, this morning. I read your book and I could narrate every incident. I could feel Sita's pain, joy through Meenakshi and Soma's narration in every which way. Thank you so much. I could transport myself back into Janaka's kingdom and Ayodhya's kingdom and vividly recall all those scenes. That was the power of vocabulary you used. It was extremely beautiful. Now that I'm done with the book this morning, I see you. I could recall all the emotions I went through during the reading of that book. And my question is, 1 week ago, when I was meditating in my living room on my couch, I could see Patriji walking into my home and sitting in front of me on a bench with a smiling face, and he was wearing a bright yellow and orange color shirt, and he was smiling, and he literally tried to place his hands in my hand, and I was like, I was in a deep shock because I couldn't suddenly take it that Patriji walking into my home and with a broad smile and putting his hands in my hands. And then I immediately realized it was an experience, and that the moment I tried to lift my hand and put it in his hands, I could barely touch his fingernails and he disappeared. So I would like to know what does it indicate from you, ma'am, because you had tremendous meditational experiences which led you to write that book. I would like to understand what does it mean from you.
Thank you, Karuna, for that question. There is a thin veil between that dimension and our three-dimensional world that we live in, and one can access it. And he came to show you that. He came to bless you and to show you that he's present. He's present. Nothing has changed. We can't see him all the time, but you couldn't see him all the time before, you know.
Yes, I could never met him physically when he was in his mortal body.
But there's a response to your heart. There must be great love in you for him that he would appear to you like that, because it's love that draws a being near. And, you know, in reading the Sita book again, the love for Sita is just overwhelming me, and for Ram. And that's where I feel the presence. Love is like a magnet. Love draws the beings to you. And the more we live in that state of love, the more we're able to be in the presence of the beings that we love, because you can't resist love. I mean, love it's not possible. So the greater the love, the more we attract those beings to us. So clearly you had a lot of love for him, and that drew him to you. And so that's a great blessing. That experience was as real as anything, as real as what we're having now. Never doubt your experiences. In the beginning, when I was much younger, I used to question myself when I had these experiences in meditation. I talk about that in my first book. When I started having vivid recollections, I said to myself, Dena, is this real? Are you imagining it? And I actually would go to the places I had seen just to convince myself, yes, this is true, that I didn't just imagine this. And so I've learned to trust what I see and what I feel. That took me some time to be able to trust these experiences, because you can't talk about them openly with everybody. A lot of people are not at that stage where they would understand that. So you couldn't go out and just talk about, oh, you had a visit from this, you know, your teacher who is in another dimension. But it's just as real as anything in the material world. It's just as real. And so you have to trust that and just be grateful enormously, because it's rare. It doesn't happen every day. So when these experiences come to us, I'm just always so thankful and grateful. It reminds you that the divine is aware of you. The divine is aware of your love. Sometimes we think that we're operating alone in this world, but that's not at all true. the divine is aware of everything about us. And whenever our heart turns toward any one of the forms of the divine is right there for us and will show him or herself in multiple ways. Sometimes it's subtle and you have to pay attention. That's why we have to learn to live mindfully so that we can see the responses. I've become very aware of when I need Satya's response to me, when I might, in another time, if I've sort of absentmindedly going through life, not be aware of it. But as I've taught myself to be more mindful, I'm aware of these responses from the beings who are not physically present, but who are present with us, but from another dimension of time and space. So that's a great blessing, and thank you for sharing it with us, Karuna.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Karuna. Thanks for sharing that. Next is Rajni Kumar. Please unmute and ask.
Namaste, Dena Merriam. I'm so happy to meet you or able to talk to you. I have a couple of things. The number one is I came to the meditation in 2019. After that, I listened to your the book Untold Story of Sita from Saroja Gullapalli ma'am. Then that gave me some transformation, and also the first layer of my, how do I say, I was not respecting myself, and I connected with the Sita Ma because Sita Ma was, she grew up, she was so much connected with the nature, the plants, the herbs, trees, and how she cooks and feed everyone. I have all those qualities. I just grew up only in the trees and plants. They were my friends when I was growing up, more than any person to say. So that gave me so much self-confidence. I was not very confident about myself. Then that was the first step. Then I was in inner journey. Also, before I say that, the book Autobiography of Yogananda, there were so many mystic experiences in that book. But when I first read it, I didn't believe anything. Then I was in this 90 days inner journey, the continuation meditation every day. So I had so many experiences. One day, the whole universe was in front of me. Then it was inside me. Then I started smelling the jasmine. It's like, where is this coming from? And other small incidents. I was outside in front of a store. There was a big box of cardboard box, and it was on the way to the customers to enter inside the store. So I thought about moving that to some other place in the side. I decided where I want to put that box. Then I got distracted. What happened was the big wind came and put that box there, and it was not a windy day at all. Just small examples. But at that time, I was so pure, nothing affected me. The world, so peaceful, serene. And now, my question is, that was in 2020, with continuous meditation. Now I do believe all those things in that autobiography of Yogi. That was one thing. But now, how do I get back to that? I'm not doing as much meditation as I was doing. That is so very good experience for many, many days. The pure heart and so much self-love, so much love to anybody. Even if somebody says something, nothing I took inside me. It's like that was a great, great experience, those 90 days. So give us some tips how to motivate us to be pure and not affected by anything, just to be happy and be in blissful state, ma'am.
I think we all face that, Rajani. We are given experiences at the beginning to show us, to encourage us, and to give us a taste of the state of where we want to get to. But we don't, most of us just have a taste, and then we have to come back to the state of where we are. And that's to encourage us to keep persisting. I mean, the key is to keep persisting, to keep on meditating, doing the best you can. I mean, it's important to have periods of long meditation. It's important to give yourself times to retreat from the world, but we have to keep on keeping on. That's the only counsel that I've received. We get a taste of a higher state of consciousness so that we know where we're going. We know what we're striving for. We get a taste to make us want more, to want us be in that state all the time. But then we have to come back and work through all the things that we have to work through in order to be in that state more continuously, to be in that state ultimately all the time. I mean, you know, there'll come a point, maybe not in this life, but there will come a point when we are in that state of joy all the time, where we're anchored in the higher self, and that we just see this as a play that we're acting out, performing our role. But until we reach that state, we just keep striving, keep meditating, keep being mindful and working on the things that we know we have to work on, the relationships that we have to work on, working on our desires and all that, and just keep doing what we're doing. We just have to persevere. That is, I mean, that's the Gita encourages that too. Just keep doing it. No step is lost on this path, is what the Gita says. No step is lost. Each step takes you closer to the goal. So instead of, you know, worrying about when we're going to reach the goal or how do we be there, we just try to practice even-mindedness and contentment in our current state, taking step by step closer to the goal.
Thank you, Rajni, for sharing.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Ma'am, it's already 8 o'clock. Do you have more time to continue?
I have about 15 more minutes.
Okay, let's quickly wrap up. Like few people are there, so I request everyone to, you know, keep your question very short and precise, so ma'am can quickly answer. Madhuswani, please go ahead. And
very good morning, ma'am. This is Madhuswani here. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes.
Yeah. So very good morning, ma'am, and very, very happy and grateful that you are here today in front of us, and we're able to put our questions to you. So my question is, like, as you were mentioning about, like everyone was asking about the untold story of Sita, which you have written. So it's like the epitome of love and nature, Mother Nature. She is very much connected. Same way, sometimes I feel that I'm very much connected to Mother Earth, and all the energies they call to me, the animals and plants, mountains, rivers, everything. But here my question is about another book that you're writing, your book about future. So did you see Ram and Sita there and working and spreading this love? And what kind of love, like, I know it's an unconditional love. Love is, it's like, we can't judge love. It is like very unconditional. So I just wanted to know what that future is when Ram and Sita, just give us a glimpse of it if you can, so that, you know.
Well, I'll do my best, Madhuswani.
Yeah.
The book is in the early stages. I've just done the second chapter, but the story is, I'm seeing it. I'm definitely seeing it. And the challenge is to transfer what I'm seeing into written words. It's always a bit of a challenge for me. It's work. I see Ram and Sita in the future, not in incarnated form, but as they are now, guiding individuals who are attuned with them. That is the most important thing, is the attunement. The more we attune ourselves with their energy, and that's what I hope the books do, is that it helps you attune yourself with their energy. Then you're able to see them and see their presence. First you can see their presence in your personal life. You can get personal guidance and direction from them. But then later you can see their presence at the collective level. And I'm talking about 200 years in the future.
Correct. Yeah.
I see a world community that's gone through a lot of changes. The population is less, but a lot of it is through natural means, smaller families, less fertility. There's just a lot of changes that have taken place, but society is in a better state. It's sort of reorganized into a better, there's an upward movement. And meditation is much more part of daily life. And Dharma, I mean, we look around the world today, there's so much adharma, there's so much violence, there's so much corruption, greed. You know, I mean, I was just reading in the Sita book about, I don't know if it's Janak Babu says, about greed causes drought. So there was a drought in Mattila, and they're wondering why, because they have such a dharmic society, but there's greed in other parts coming from Ravana, who's taking the resources of going into the south and taking the resources for his own use. It's the same thing that's going on today. We look around at the greed today in the world. Greed, I was gonna actually do something on my Facebook page about this, because I was so struck when I read this. It was like, oh my God, it's talking about right now, today. There are parts of the world where there is drought. The West Coast, the whole western part of the US is suffering from terrible drought. Greed causes drought. It blocks up the energy.
Wow, that's so deep.
So that's why I said, when I'm reading the Sita book, I'm seeing it as a statement about our times. When I wrote the book, I didn't see that. But now I'm looking at it as teachings for today.
Yes.
So you asked me about the future. So I see a better conditions in the future, but I'm sorry that you'll have to wait a little bit.
No, I'm ready to wait. But yeah, actually you gave me some idea, because as we are into meditation, we teach meditation across the globe now. So definitely that might help us, get into that zone of understanding, like what else to teach, so that the more light goes into the world, definitely many people will understand and they will turn their ways towards meditation.
I see a time when excess is not a virtue.
Yes.
When excess is not something to strive for.
Correct.
So the whole value of our society of consumption, of getting more and more, that's led us to a state where that has to transform. And this period in the future, people have woken up to that it's sort of like a death spiral when you get into that trap. And so excess is not valued. What's valued are the qualities, character qualities, virtues. And so I think that, I'm excited about this book because it gives us a vision to work toward.
Yes.
We even if we won't see it in this life, but we're not working just for this life. I mean, there are sections in the Sita book, which I just narrated yesterday, where it says that what Sita did was not just for that time only. That sacrifice. Which Ram and Sita were doing was way into the future.
Yes,
and so we have to know that the work we're striving for, we will not see the results in this life.
Correct.
But we are creating the future. We're working for the future. And that's something I'm very aware of. We are working for the future. The other thing I realized, of course, in writing so much about the past, time has sort of collapsed for me. And we can be in the past, we can also be in the future. I mean, what is time? It's just a creation of the mind. We create this linear framework so that we can have a human life, but there's no ultimate reality to it. We can be in the future. And somebody said to me recently, is it true that the yugas are an internal state? Yes, we can live in the Satya Yuga right now.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know about. Like, because of love, we can actually live in this
Exactly.
Satya Yuga. That's what.
And the more of us that do that, the more we can create the conditions in the external world.
Yes, and for that, I believe some gods and goddesses, they have to get into that whirlpool or the tornado in the center of the eye, to actually destroy that tornado or to remove, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dena ma'am. It is a wonderful experience to know you, to have you here, and it's really amazing. Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you, Madhusoni.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you so much. And we'll take one last question, ma'am. Sarath, can you please speak now?
Hello, madam. Big namaste to you. I'm still reading your book, and I could feel your presence with me. I've been a meditator since a while. Just was curious about a thing when you were writing the story. Was it in a vision, in a dream, or were you actually living the experience? While actually writing the whole story, because I felt that at some point you wrote that when in daydream merge, somewhere your inner world opens up. Maybe I'm paraphrasing, but when you were writing that, how did you feel? Was it multidimensional, or were you merged with the characters?
I totally lived. Each book that I write, I totally live that life. And as I've said to people, it's quite challenging, actually, because I have to function in two realities. I mean, I since COVID, I've actually been blessed to be able to stay home. Before that, I was traveling a lot, organizing gatherings for the Global Peace Initiative, but now I've changed my life and I'm home most of the time, which means that I don't have to interface with the world so much, and I can stay in that reality that I'm writing about. But I must say, I go through all the emotions, so every time I go back to the book, I mean, there are times that I cry. So with the Rukmini book, there were many times that were very emotional for me. And I get back into that life fully and go through all the emotions of it. I relive it. I relive that life. And often when I'm in meditation, it pulls me back in time. And so I'm hearing conversations. I've started keeping a pen and pencil with me wherever I go. Every part of my house is a pen and pencil, because things come to me and I want to capture them. And so it's people ask me about the process. It's hard for me to describe the process because I get sucked into another, like a vortex of time, while I'm back in that period. But there are many blessings, so I go through the difficulties of that because each life has its struggle. But then there are the blessings of being in the presence of the great ones, so I'm not complaining. It's an intense experience, but I'm deeply grateful.
Pleasure to know your deep and profound experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharat.
Thank you so much
for coming and asking. And Lavanya has something to share, madam. Please, Lavanya, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, even we don't have much time. Thank you so much, Dena Merriam, for being in my life, I would say. And I've been looking for an opportunity to meet you, but I'm looking for different indirect ways that I shared in the chat that I have met a master in India, and she was just like you. She said she came from in past her life. She was a assistant to Sita Mata, and she came to Ayodhya from Midila, and she in this life she is not like educated, she has no devices, gadgets, anything, so there is no way she can connect you. I wanted you like somehow meet her or get connection with her, or just do some astral work, or is it real, is it like you have met her in her life? That's what one my thing. And the second thing is like I have met two meditation masters who said that in their experiences they saw themselves as Sita, and I was confused first, how can one be Sita and other one also be Sita? And as you answered Madhu Soni's question, I realized, okay, Sita Mata's work is now guiding everyone, so it could be like it answered my question. And the other one I want to share about the untold story of Sita. What the change I've got is like when I realized that Sita is herself went to Ravana and Lanka to do the good work, spiritual work. Then I was so powerful. Like I felt so powerful. Okay, there is no. It is me want to go into the difficult situations and clear that or learn something. This is my choice. Then I felt very strong and powerful, and now I can explain in Indian mythology to everyone, like whoever questions, oh, this is all myth, this is it shouldn't be like this. I am in a position to answer everyone.
Thank you, Lavanya. I would love to meet this person that you described at the beginning, if it's possible through Zoom or however. And those who feel that they're Sita, well, we're all part of Sita. We're all part of the one whole. And ultimately, we'll realize that who are we? We're none other than. We're just projections. We're all part of the one unity. And so we can feel part of Sita. We can feel Sita in us. We can awaken our consciousness of Sita. And we can feel her presence. We can feel that we're part of her. Sometimes I feel I'm her daughter. You know, she is my mother. It's a very intimate relationship. I think in the writing these books, it's brought me into a very intimate relationship, whereas previously there was a distance. You know, and so I think that's very important to feel the intimate nature of the relationship with the divine.
Thank you so much, and thank you, friends. We don't have much time, and we will close with Chandra and Harika message to Dena ma'am. And Chandra, you can speak for a few minutes.
Thank you, Dena ma'am, for coming and sharing your wisdom and your experience. This has been very profound. It was also great to meet you in the summer, past summer at your place. It's a beautiful home. And looking at the backdrop, I just felt again I'm walking in your meditative room with so many crystals and statues. I've been reminiscing your garden, everything. It was such a beautiful experience to spend time with you. And I would also like to thank you for giving us the courage to accept our spirituality, even though I grew up in India, born in a Hindu family, and still I have a lot of reluctance in accepting the spirituality or accepting the divinity, whereas you, coming from a completely different culture, you embraced yourself. You didn't fear about the prejudice or how people will judge you. And you're courageous. You came out and spread the real message, the real work for which you have come in this world. And it gives a lot of courage for us to come out and be vocal, or at least acknowledge. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing for us, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
You must come back, Chandra, in the spring when the flowers are out. You must come back.
Thank you so much, Dena ma'am. Thank you so much. It's so much love around everywhere here, that we see you here and we see Sita Mata, we see your presence. My kids also woke up and they saw you and say like, yo, we went to Dena ma'am's house. I remember the house. I remember madam. We are so lucky to meet you and be there. Thank you so much. Such a great message that you have given today. Being aware and going into the different dimensions. We have a lot more questions with us, but we will save us for the next time.
Save it for the next time. I hope to be back, and you must come back.
Sure, madam. We'll plan again. Definitely we'll plan. Thank you so much, madam.
All right. Take care, everybody. Be well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming up and awakening our heart and introducing the divine love through your books. Every time we read your books, it is just love awakens. We are surrounded by love. Thank you so much for doing that. And millions of people.
Gratitude.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hope to see you all again soon.
We hope to see you again.
Take good care.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Gratitude.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And dear friends, I just want to thank everyone who participated here and stayed for extra time. I know everyone had still questions, but ma'am, time is limited, so we cannot really accommodate everyone. So I'm extremely sorry for that. And I want to give a little brief about tomorrow's program. Another great master, Anand Karnesh, who wrote the book 1000 Seeds of Joy. He channels the messages of Lakshmi Mata and Saraswati Mata. If you have read the book 1000 Seeds of Joy, you know about Anand Karnesh. It's a great, another great master. Please utilize your time tomorrow. Come and ask your questions. He is more interested in interacting people than just delivering message. So please come prepared, turn on your videos, and utilize this opportunity for your spiritual growth. I once again thank you for joining today and being with us for extra time. And I thank every participant, Harika for singing for so long, and Chandra for organizing it, and Seetal Power, Shirisha Pamadi, all PMC USA team. Thank you. My deepest gratitude to everybody. And thank you, Devi Garu, for bringing Dena Merriam, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sudhakar Garu. You have to announce about evening.
Yeah.
Oh, today evening. So we have multiple cultural programs. We have dance, Kuchipudi dance, and a couple of singings by different people. And also we have experience sharing by New Jersey Masters. Please join us. And again, from 8:30 to 9:30, we will have Gita classes, and then we'll have a guided meditation by New Jersey team. So me and Harika will not be available, but our team will be there. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Sudhakarji and Harika.
Thank you, Madhu.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, NJ team. As I know they are traveling today and they are all having little kids and so many things, piled up in their lives. Still, they are making it. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for making this happen, all of you.
Thank you,
Hats off to
Devi.
NJ
It's
team.
all your training, Devi, so it's paid off now.
You are also leading us, right?
Yes.
Even in Texas, you're not leaving your home ground.
It's always being my home.
Keep hold of it.
And
thank you, Seetal Power, for all your support and guiding in every step. doing everything. Thank you.
Thank you, all the masters. Thank you so much.
So we will end now.
You all in the evening.
Yes, see you in the evening, guys. Thank you.
Beautiful singing, Harika. We went so deep in meditation today. It was so beautiful.
Thank you, Shikha.